It's been a while. Oh, a day, actually. Today's episode we're going to be talking about the comics, the dumbasses in my family. Why the title is the way the title is. I love it. The title's from a quote I heard from a brilliant person named Jim Cornette. And I love that title, what he says. Like, I don't burn bridges, I demolish them. And, like, everything that Jim Cornette says about things, I kind of see his point. I really do. I see his point of being this sort of angry asshole to people. And I see why. You deal with family members who are idiots. I mean, not most of them, but some of them. You try to reason with them. You try to talk to them. You try to explain what the plan that you're wanting to do is. And they don't listen. And that person wants to do what Charlie in text says. And I'm going to explain the whole thing of it. And why I no longer burn bridges, I fucking demolish them. Because there's no point of going back. Like, these people are normal. They are fucked people. Just like the Manson family. So, anyway, you know, I just don't get people. Well, I do get people, but I don't get family members that much anymore. I don't get them. I mean, I'm waking up, by the way, so I like this one. New rumor is Snyder teaser rumored for HBO Max launch. I hope they release the Snyder cut thing. New Mutants gets a new August release date. And they probably push that back. I don't know. Robert Downey Jr. is adapting DC Vertigo's Sweet Tooth for Netflix. But, before I get into talking about my family members and shit, I'm gonna want to talk about the Robert Pattinson controversy, the Batman. Robert Pattinson not working out for Batman. He did this interview with GQ magazine. The studio, Pattinson said he isn't going to work out even though Warner Brothers left him with instructions to do so, stating the film studio hired a trainer who left Pattinson with a Bosu ball, single weight, and a sincere plea to use both, right? But right now he says he's ignoring her. I think if you're working out all the time, you're part of the problem, he says, sighing, but by you means the other actors. You said it presented no one was doing this in 1970s. Even James Dean wasn't exactly rip. Here's the thing. Pattinson, people I don't think get his sense of humor. If you ever listen to him talk in interviews and stuff, he will bullshit with people. He will joke with them. He will say things that will throw them off track. He will, say things like that. I mean, if you ever watch him do interviews with, when he was doing the Twilight films, he will joke about it. He was asked, what do you think of Stephanie Myers, who is the author of the Twilight films? And he's like, I think she's insane, needs to be committed to an institution. And he was just saying she's just completely insane writing this. Have you seen this? He was just saying things, I think, just to get a rile out of people, and if you ever the final Twilight films, he was asked will you miss it? He goes, no. And he even did this with Batman. When he was asked, what is the voice of Batman going to sound like? And he was like, it's going to sound like William Dafoe's, voice in the Lighthouse, piratey, arr. He was just fucking with people. And I think that's what he was doing. Because if you ever look at him, a photo, him jogging, he's in good shape. But also you have to remember, the fight coordinator is the guy who did the John Wick films. And you look at Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves is skinny. He's a skinny, tall dude. And he knocked the fuck out of people. So Pattinson is basically going to be doing what Keanu Reeves did with John Wick and all that. He's going to be doing crazy workouts, and Leela woke up from her nap. Hold on, I'll be right back. So, and I think that people have to realize, Pattinson is going to be doing, the same things that Keanu Reeves did for Wick. And you have to realize, his Batman isn't going to be like Ben Affleck's Batman, where it's this hulking, jacked up Batman that has a death wish, where he's just going in there knowing there's gunfire and all that. I don't think Pattinson's going to be fighting a Kryptonian. I think. I don't know. But you have to realize this Batman, his version of Batman, is going to be a young Batman that's moving with agile and speed. Sneak attacks, takedowns. He's going to be doing that. He's not going to be this Batman, Ben Affleck, where he's, don't get me wrong, I am going to miss Ben Affleck's Batman. I think it sucks that he isn't going to do another Batman film. But Pattinson's Batman, in my opinion, isn't going to be that Batman where he's beating the shit out of people. branding them. Having gunfights with them. Gunfights with criminals and all that. Like, he's not going to be doing that. I think his Batman is going to be a mixture of the Detective Batman, but also this Batman that's going to be having brutal combat takedowns and locks and breaking people's bones and all that shit. Like, and if you ever look at the teaser that they released of like the first image of Batman, it does look like a very dark psychological Batman. Like a person's going to be thinking a lot, doing a lot of mysteries and solving things. And I think, in my opinion, it's going to be a cool take on Batman, a detective take on Batman that we have never got to see that much. But also, you have to remember, there was another Batman who was not in, like Ben Affleck Batman shape, and that was Christian Bale for The Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises. He was kind of I wouldn't say a scrawny Batman, but he was kind of a small Batman, but he also had very effective takedowns and lethal takedowns. And, I mean, yeah, it's not going to be the Batman in Batman Begins, like, crazy, insane, thing after doing The Machinist, but, you have to remember, this Batman might have different fighting styles than Affleck's Batman. So, but also you have to remember, Pattinson has a sense of humor where he says, like, back when he was in the Twilight franchise, the one time they told me to take my shirt off, I think they told me to put it back on again. But Batman is Batman. Pattinson told another actor on film, Zoe Kravitz, the other day. She said she was exercising 5 days a week during their exile from the set. Pattinson, said, literally, I'm barely doing anything. He says, sighing again. You have to realize that is a joke. He is basically fucking with the person who's interviewing him. He's joking with them. And here's what it is. Instead of working out, Pattinson has been doing... Yesterday I was just Googling. And I was going on YouTube, seeing how to microwave pasta. I think he's just messing with people. You have to realize he is... Here's one. I'm essentially on a meal plan for Batman, thank God. I don't know what I've been doing I don't know what I've been doing other than that. But I mean, yeah. Other than I can survive. I have oatmeal with, like, vanilla protein powder on it. And I will barely even mix it up. It was extraordinary easy. Like, I eat out of cans and stuff. I'll literally put Tabasco inside a tuna can. Just eat out of the can. I think he's just messing with people. I think he's just doing that. Let's see what the comments are. I bet a lot of people are just pissed at what he just said. How dare he? I'm waiting for the comments to load. My computer's running like shit again. Alright. Take it, they're loading. I need to get a new computer one of these days. Alright, 21 comments. For those who don't know, Ron Perlman was 50 plus and in no condition to have buff physique while making Hellboy movies. And all the product, he looks for buff. The point is, stop this obsession with actors' physiques. So, like, a lot of people are very upset, like, he's just not getting in shape. And one person, back in the 70s, Christopher Reeves got ripped. Sid have, play Superman. One person, what a lazy actor. A lot of people are just mad because he's just not doing it. And here's the thing, like, dude, to me, came off kind of like he was just messing with people. He was just having a joke on them. And I think that's what he's doing. I think he's just messing with people. I think he's just having fun toying with them. Trolling them. And I think it's the thing about, Robert Pattinson. I think he just likes trolling and messing with people just to make them, overreact and stuff. So let's see what's going on. DC Universe readership is up 35% and new titles will be added on there. Batman is the bad guy again in Gotham Knights. Humphrey says DC won't let him use Ivy Harley Quinn. This one's interesting. Wally, Barry, and Jay will appear in death metal spinoff Speed Metal. I gotta read this one. I love the Dark Knight's metal, and I can't wait to read death metal and speed metal. Let's see. Around a month old at least. Yeah. Scott Snyder states that the energy that Wally West got from Dr. Manhattan and the Scott Liddell Brett Booth's Flash Forward and the unpublished Generation 1 will be very important in the death in which Wally West, Jay Garrett, Barry Allen will run together, all run together away from a villain, and that this will be the spinoff into their own spin-off, speed metal. Noting more is the video cut. Anyway, the image that they, of course, have is Greg Capullo from death metal with a certain speedster, the Flash. I can't wait to see that one. I hope Greg Capullo, of course, continues doing the artwork for that, because that would be fucking awesome. You know, I really want to read that. I can't wait for that one. It's gonna be a Flash story by Snyder and Capullo. Take my money on that one. I would pay for it. You know. I wonder if they're gonna have any like original music for death metal, like they did with Dark Knight's metal. Just a thought. Because I fucking love the soundtrack that they released, unleashed for the, released, but I would put unleashed on the world. I mean, they had some killer fucking songs on there. Like, you heard the one we played, Brief Exchanged, which was, from the Dark Knight's metal, which was really, also a fun song to listen to. So, especially when you're like working out and you had like your wireless earbuds and you're on the bike, like it's a fun thing to listen to music and bike, but also Audible, which is not a sponsor. So, I've been enjoying the Audible books and stuff. So, like it's been fun. So, anyway, why is the title the title of the story? Let me tell you that my family, my dad's side of the family, like, it's weird though. I can get along with some of my, aunts and uncles on my dad's side. But there's this one certain group that I jokingly refer to as the Manson family. They're all fucked in the head. Hello. Like, good luck. Thank you. Thank you, love. This side of the family... That's alright, love. I understand. I totally understand. You had a very long day yesterday and you're still recovering. I totally understand. This side of the family, the Mansons. I jokingly refer to my dad's stepsister as Charlie Manson. And her husband, Tex, and her daughters, the Manson girls. Because anytime someone pisses me off to a point, I will jokingly compare them to a crazy serial killer. I don't know why. I guess it's just how they are. And hold on, I gotta pick something up. Something fell off. Alright, I got it. When you hear me start going, pick something up. But I jokingly referred to that person as that, but this group just, it goes back years. And I told my Catwoman the story of the history of it. Like, why is there so much bad blood in this family? Back when my dad met my mom, he adopted my sisters, because their biological dad didn't want anything to do with them, referred to them as a mistake, just didn't want anything to do with them. And my dad adopted them. And my grandma was very supportive of it. My one aunt who my dad is close to, who's having health issues currently. And my dad calls, checks on her regularly, like every day, calls and checks up on her, brought her flowers and a card, letting her know that she's very important to this family. And she's my godmother, by the way, so. And she was, of course, she's the one who introduced my mom and dad, and they were, because she was, best friends with my mom, so. Anyway, Aunt Charlie, who was my dad's stepsister, was not happy about the whole thing. Did not like my mom, did not like my sisters, and did not like me when I was born. Like, that woman hated my guts. Hated my dad, especially my mom and my sisters and me. Like, she thought, like, my dad made a big mistake in life. And my grandma was just like, shut the fuck up. It was just, she would always say that to her, just like, shut the fuck up. And as time went on, one of the Manson girls, who I always had sympathy for, who I always felt bad for, like, I felt like she got the wrong, I just always felt bad for her, but she didn't give a shit, she's just a bitter, angry person. She did not like that my grandma watched me and my sister. Even when my mom wasn't working, she would just want us over at her house because she just, she loved, as my mom said, she adored me. My grandma adored me, loved me. Because she was happy that my dad had a son. Like, she was just happy that he had a kid and stuff. And I remember she always said, like, you look like him so much. You're just a little Richard. So it was the funniest thing. And I remember she would drink coffee or 7-Up and watch Days of Our Lives. Like sand going through an hourglass. This is the days of our lives. Like, I remember she would watch that. And I would just sit there and go, like, I don't get this show. Like, that was the funniest thing about it. And, but that certain person got mad about it. And that Manson girl went off on my mom by saying, how dare you have my grandma watch those kids of yours and not pay her for it. And like, she was just like a bitchy, bitter person. Like, she thought like my grandma should not watch kids, instead hang out with her and her friends and her sister. And my mom, of course, went over and gave my grandma $40. And my grandma was like, I don't want it. I don't want the money. I just want to spend time with them. And as dumb as that Manson girl is, she ended up calling my other aunt just to bitch about my mom and my aunt was just like, she watches my kids too. They're over there with, Josh and, and them. And it was just ever since then, like, my mom just sort of got mad about that. Like, not only that, but Aunt Charlie and her kids and her husband going into my grandma's house after she passed away, ransacking the place, taking everything she had, throwing her furniture in the dumpster and leaving. Like, everything. Like, it was just, I think that's what now, present day, my uncle tragically passed away, and the same thing happened again, except this time I got drugged into it. He had a Jeep, and I did not give a shit about where that Jeep went. I didn't really care, because it got to the point where I was accused I was going to take the Jeep, and it's just like, motherfucker, I have my own car. I finally got a battery in it. So, what happened was, yesterday I was supposed to do the show. I didn't feel like doing it because I got up at 5 a.m. unexpectedly. And my dad woke me up going like, you won't fucking believe this. I was like, why? It's like 5 a.m, dude. Like, what do you want? And why wasn't my door shut? You just walk in. All the thing I hear is like, you won't fucking believe this. And he goes, that dumbass down the street. I was like, oh shit, what did he do now? Referring to my uncle. My former uncle. I'm just going to say that because fuck him. Through the comic books I loaned him, he put them in the bag. And he threw them on the porch during the rain. Not covering them. Leaving it open for them to get ruined. He got pissed because he found out that I got my inheritance from my uncle. $3,000. I didn't want it. I didn't need it. But he left it to me. I don't know why. Because I didn't want it. I didn't want the money. I didn't give a shit about money. I was never a materialistic person to begin with. I mean, I was the kind of person, like, I am not making this up. I had a bed on the floor. Sometimes I didn't even have a bed. I just didn't care because I just was that person. Like, I just lived life like, hey, every day's going to be different. Whammo. And, like, I didn't give a shit where, like, I didn't give a shit about money. Like, I didn't have fancy, cool gadgets, like, buying the iPhone 11 Pro, spending $900. Me too. Like, he made fun of me because I have an iPhone 6S. Because I don't have the current iPhone. Like, my uncle was my former uncle was a prick. And he's a punk bitch, for certain. Like, he made fun of me because I have an iPhone 6S, and I said, like, I don't give a shit about current new products. Like, I'm one of those people, like, if it works, that's fine. If there's just crack in the screen, I don't give a shit. If it works, that's great. Like, I didn't give a shit at all. Like, of course he, goes like, well, you buy clothes. I was like, yeah, I buy nice stuff because I like having a nice Batman shirt. That's just who I am. So he throws my books in the rain. Luckily, my dad got them in. before all of them was ruined, but 2 certain books got ruined. And I got pissed because one of them was something I was just like, I said, I'm like, when you're done with the book, make sure you give it back to me because I spent a lot for this book, okay? And it was, I know, right? Like, who says, like, what, like, who says, like, we need to have the latest new product? That's exactly, like, my uncle is that. He has to get the latest new product of something. Like, like, if I ever have to get, like, something new, I would love to have, a PlayStation. Like, that'd be something that'd be nice to have. I could buy one. I just don't feel like it right now. I just don't feel like buying it. You know? And my Swamp Thing, Alan Moore's Absolute Swamp Thing book got ruined in the rain. I was pissed. Because I spent a lot of money on that book, and it was like the one thing I got myself for Christmas. I bought everybody in my family a Christmas gift, and I bought myself the Absolute Swamp Thing by Alan Moore. No, it wasn't the Absolute Swamp Thing, sorry. It was the Alan Moore Swamp Thing Volume 1, sorry, my bad. I was looking at the Absolute Swamp Thing. It's like, if I had to replace it, I'll get that. But I got these Swamp Thing books, and I just loved Alan Moore's run on Swamp Thing. It was kind of like how the TV show Swamp Thing became. It was just that. It was just basically an adaptation of Alan Moore's Swamp Thing. Both those books got ruined. That one and Kingdom Come got ruined. And I was pissed. And I wrote things on Facebook. I got on Facebook just to get their attention, because that's where they go. They go on Facebook. They just, you know, they do this entire group posting of, you know, we're not about greed. We're about family. Or, we miss you so much. I wish everybody felt that way, but instead it's about greed. And it's just all of this stupid shit that they write just to get, you know, as I put it in the post, you post things just to get your jerked off likes, so you can have your ego stroked along the way. And I just wrote all these, you know, these posts and stuff just to piss them off, to get them to message me. And I'm one of those people, like, if you poke the bear, that's what I'm referred to now. Like, my youngest nephew, anytime he's over, he's like, shh, don't wake the bear. The bear gets angry. That's what I'm jokingly referred to. Because when I wake up, my nephew says, you look like a bear that woke up out of a cave. I don't know what the hell that means, but it was funny. He said it like when he was a little kid, like, and he was, you know, with my dad and my niece watching Scooby-Doo, then The Simpsons for somehow reason. I'm referred to as the bear. So when you poke the bear and anger him, I'm gonna write stupid shit that makes no, like, I'll write shit that pisses you off to the point. And my uncle, my former uncle, who was dumb enough to responded in Messenger saying, everyone in that, everyone in your family is about greed and stuff. And I just wrote, like, first off, I didn't want anything. I didn't want no money. And I didn't have to spend no money. But it gives you no right to disrespect me by throwing my shit on the porch in the rain. Well, you're welcome. It was either that or the trash can. I was like, well, guess what, motherfucker? I'm going to return your books. I'm going to return them in a way that is respectful because I respect the books. I'm going to wrap them up in a plastic bag, put them in that tote bag, roll it up, making sure they don't get damaged. Because I respect people's property, which you don't. He goes, well, take it out of the tombstone money. I was just like, I ain't gonna ask my dad to take $450 out of the tombstone that you paid for to replace those books. I'm not gonna do that, because it's not between you and him. It's between you and me, because you ruined my property. He goes, well, have your dad pay for it. And I was just like, again, motherfucker, I pay for my shit. When I buy something, I buy it with my own money. No one else's money, my own money. He goes, well, I didn't know you made money. I was like, well, motherfucker, what do you think I do most of the time? I'm between, working at a place that sadly is not opened because it's open outdoors due to the coronavirus, and I do podcasts and make money on the side. So I didn't tell him about the podcast because he doesn't like when someone trashes on Marvel. And he goes, well, you know what? You got that stimulus money. You pay for it. And I wrote again, like, motherfucker. I put that stimulus money in a nest egg. So I can have money in case, shit hits the fan. He goes, well, you know what? I ain't replacing your books because you have no respect for the family. Like, he found every way to get out of it. And he finally, hit the raw nerve where he was just like, well, you know what? You didn't know your uncle. You and your uncle weren't close. He was never part of this, your family. He was a part of my family. And I said to him, like, if Uncle Bill saw you this way, he would realize what a petty, whiny bitch of a person you are. And I said to him, I didn't want his money. I didn't need his money. In fact, I was like, you know what I'm going to do with that money? I'm going to pay it forward to somebody. I'm buying my neighbor, who happens to have a brain tumor, him and his wife, groceries. Just to pay it forward. To do good deeds for people. That's what I'm doing with his money. They're struggling during this difficult time, and now something's been added onto their difficult time. And I'm going to help them. Again, I didn't need his money. I didn't want his money. If you feel like you don't want or earn his money, well, I wouldn't say earn, but want his money that was given to you, then give it to the Manson girls who are bitching about it every day on Facebook. He goes, he gave me that money just, to help me. I was like, is helping you spending $8,000 on bringing a stupid ass Jeep that you're not going to drive all the way from California to here? And he got mad because I found out about that. How I found out by that was by my aunt, who I jokingly refer to as a Southern Miss Marple. I don't know how the hell that woman figured that out. But she did. And I was the second person she told about that. And I just wrote, what a dumbass. So I wrote on Facebook. This, and I'm gonna wrap it up at this part. I wrote, I don't burn bridges, I demolish them. 7 less funerals to go to. Only way I will be visiting you is when you're dead, and I'll be pissing on your grave. Like, I don't know why I wrote that. I guess out of anger, because once you destroy my Alan Moore Swamp Thing book, you pissed me off. Because again, like, that book was something I bought myself for Christmas and my birthday. It was something I bought myself because I really love Swamp Thing. Like, and I'm a fan of Alan Moore's work before he went batshit crazy. But I made this plan. I said this to my sister when she called, like, "Are you okay?" You know, like, all that, like. And I said, what my dumbass uncle did. She goes, "I'm a fucking dick. Fuck him. Who needs him?" You know. I said to my sister, I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I am going to go on the Mediterranean diet. I'm going to quit drinking soda. I'm going to start eating a lot of food, healthy food. And I am going to outlive and I told her, like, every family member on the Manson family. I was like, I'm going to outlive every one of them so I can piss on their grave. And that is my plan. I am going to outlive them. That is my plan. And my sister's just like, oh my god. I was like, that's the plan of it. Like, I am going to do that. Those comic books are treasure. How could he do that? He did it in a way to try to get back at my dad. Because my dad went off on him. My uncle, former uncle, mocked my aunt, who's my godmother, who is having health issues. And they would harass her. They would call her up, harassing her about, did you sign this paper? Did you get this paper? Did you pay for that tombstone? Like, they called her up when her husband was in the hospital because she thought he had lung cancer because he was having breathing problems. And she was like, and they found a mass on his lung. And they called her up and like, you need to pay for half that tombstone. Think about Uncle Bill. You know, well, for me, he's my uncle, but they're just like, think about Bill. Bill would want you to do this. And she was just like, and it finally got to the point where my uncle grabbed the phone from him and just said, you know what, why don't you bury him in your backyard and be done with it, and just hung up on them. Like, he, you know, was going through that difficult time, and now he's recovered and he's doing a lot better. And, you know, they were just, then, like, they got to the point where they really pissed my dad off, to the point where my dad went off on my former uncle, cussing him out. And my dad, I know he was just like, I'm so sorry about the books, I didn't mean to cuss him out. And I understand why he did it. You know, like, I was just like, hey, I totally understand why you did it and stuff. Was my uncle mocked my aunt's health, calling her, like, horrible names in a book, saying she's worthless, she was, you know, good for nothing person, and then made my other aunt cry on the phone because he said, like, well, you know, Bill didn't want anything to do with you people. You people were nothing. You know, like, you're nothing to him. You're meaningless. All this shit. And my dad just finally went off on him. And he tried to, like, it's funny that, like, my former uncle tried to called me and I answered, trying to come up with excuses, blaming my dad and yada 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 and all that shit. And I finally said to him, like, you know what, dude, like, you and I are done. You and I are done. I don't want nothing to do with you. I don't want anything to do with Charlie or Tex or the Manson girls. I don't want anything to do with you people. If I see you people in public, I am not going to approach you. I'm not going to talk to you. I'm not even going to acknowledge your existence on this earth. You and I are done. And if you ever threaten me, my dad, my mom, my sisters, I am going to kick the living shit out of you as a person. I'm going to do that. Because you and I are not family. You and I aren't even friends. We're not buddies. We're not acquaintances. We're nothing. I don't like you. You don't like me. That's fine. That was just basically how it ended. And that's just kind of how it is. Like, I don't really care for them anymore. And like I said, 7 less funerals to go to. Like, so I'm going to outlive them. Plus they drink and smoke, so I'm definitely going to outlive them on that one. So, finally, good for you on that one. Thank you. I agree with you on the Pattinson Batman thing. I think he was just joking around with the reporter. Robert Pattinson has a sense of humor, and I'm surprised they never put him in a comedy. I think, like I said, like, if you ever watch John Wick, Keanu Reeves was not in, like, Ben Affleck Batman shape. And you gotta remember, like, a lot of the takedowns that Keanu Reeves did in John Wick were speed, fast, but also he strategized his takedowns. He planned them out in his head. And I think that's how Batman's going to be with Robert Pattinson. You gotta remember, Batman's a strategist. He thinks things out ahead of, like, how I'm going to take down this person, how I'm going to knock them out, like. And you gotta remember, if you ever watch, like, for example, if you watch Wyatt Reed's The Dark Knight Returns fan film, there's a moment in the film where Batman narrates a part where he goes, I have 3 ways to take down this criminal. And I think that's how Robert Pattinson's Batman's going to be. If you ever, like, watch the trailer, which I always recommend people to watch the teaser of him in the Batsuit, but when they get a close-up where he looks up, if you look at him, it's just like if you look at him, you can see in his mind, he's thinking things out. He's planning things out. And I think that's how it is with his Batman. His Batman is going to strategize and how to take down everybody. And that's what you kind of need for a Batman film. You need that Batman where he's just like, I'm planning a war, and I'm strategizing how I'm going to beat them. And that's how it is with his version of Batman. And I am 100% supportive of it. And I'm glad he has a sense of humor about it. And you got to remember, when he was doing press junkets for The Lighthouse, they asked him what your Batman voice is going to be like. And he said, like, it's going to be like William Dafoe's voice in The Lighthouse. Arr, piratey. like, you got to remember, he was just fucking with people. And he did the same thing with, Twilight, where he, was asked, like, are you sad that the Twilight, franchise is over and you have to move on with things? And he's like, nope. Like, and also he was asked about, what do you think of Stephanie Meyers, the author of Twilight? I think she's insane. She needs to be committed. like he was just having fun messing with people and reporters and all that. You have to remember, he's human. And I honestly think his version of Batman is going to be about speed, strategy, takedown. It's not going to be like one of those it's not going to be like one of that crazy ass Batman Ben Affleck moments that is fun to see, where he just goes to the warehouse and just starts beating the shit out of people and wanting to get, and getting stabbed in the shoulder, and stuff, like shooting a the pyro tank, that gas tank where it blows up part of the warehouse and all that. Like, he's not going to be like that Batman. I kind of hope he is going to be like that, but you have to realize, like, this Batman movie, basically they point out it's going to be a detective noir film. And I can't wait to read. I was going to say read, but I love reading those type of stories, but I can't wait to see it. So you have to realize, like, a Batman story is a lot interesting than a Batman action moment. Like, if you look at Batman Telltale, where there is some action parts in it, the story just sticks out to you. Like, it's a story that you really want to see more of. And for me, I can't wait to see what Robert Pattinson's going to do with Batman, and I know it's going to be an amazing film to see. And I do love the joke where I love the part in the interview where he was like, I talked to Zoe Kravitz, who said she's working out five days a week, working out, I think 5 days or something, and he was just like, I'm barely doing anything. Like, you have to remember, you have to look at past Pattinson interviews. He likes messing with people. He likes messing with reporters who ask serious questions and all that. Like, if there was a video of it, you would probably get the feeling that the reporter was serious and, like, asking serious questions. And he was just like, I'm going to have fun toying with this person. So, I support Pattinson 100% on the Batman. And again, like, you have to realize his Batman's probably going to be different. That's the thing about the Batman films. Each Batman has a different interpretation and different portrayal. You had the Adam West Batman, the fun, golden age Batman. You had the Michael Keaton Batman, the gothic Batman. You had the Val Kilmer Batman. It's Val Kilmer, he's fun. You had the George Clooney Batman, the forgetful, something we don't talk about or acknowledge existence. You have the Christian Bale iconic Batman. Then you had the Ben Affleck Batman, gone too soon. Then you have the Robert Pattinson Batman. You have to wait and see where that one goes. And you have the Kevin Conroy, the iconic voice. So, for me, I think it's going to be just that simple. It's going to be a different portrayal of Batman and Pattinson's take. I can't wait to see where he goes with it. And I can't wait to see all the characters brought in, like Catwoman, the Penguin, Riddler, all that. Like, I still want to see what Paul Dano's Riddler looks like. I want to see how he's going to do it. Paul Dano's one of those great actors that I'm stunned that they never put in a Marvel movie, but I'm glad he's in a DC film. Even though I kind of wanted to see David Tennant play the Riddler, but I'm happy Paul Dano did it. Riddler's one of my favorites. Like, Frank Gorshin was iconic as the Riddler, and Frank Gorshin is so brilliant as Riddler. Like, it's kind of like Cesar Romero's Joker. Like, I love Cesar Romero's Joker because nobody ever says anything about it. Like, like a lot of people's like, oh, it's too cartoony, but it's just like, if you ever watch him play the Joker, you can tell he was having so much fun with it. Like, if you ever watched the 60s Batman movie or TV show, you can tell that they were having fun with it. And speaking of that, I did not know this. I was at the Wally World yesterday. Walmart, for those who don't know. I call it Wally World, just for the fun of it. I found Gentle Giant dog food. And the person who owns Gentle Giant dog food is Burt Ward, Robin. Because he's on the bag. I did not know that. I saw that. I was just like, oh my god, it's Robin makes dog food. and I saw that. I was just like, Gentle Giant dog food. And it has like his photo of him as Robin. And it shows like, if you buy the bag, it helps his dog rescue and care facility, where the proceeds of buying the dog food goes to the proceeds of this dog rescue and care place that helps dogs that were abandoned, dogs that were going to be euthanized at dog center place. So he adopts them and takes care of them until they find somebody that will adopt them and take care of them. And I was just like, wow, that is so amazing. Like, this dude is, taking care of dogs, and dogs that people abandoned, dogs that were going to be euthanized that if no one adopted them. And it was really cool to see that. And I bought a bag of dog food, and Stitch is looking at me like, what the hell is this? I'm not a giant. But Lilo loves it, and it's really cool. It's like the dog food he made, he helped make, is that gives dogs nutrition, minerals, vitamins, all these things to help them be healthy and all that. Lilo loves it. Of course, she'll love any food because she's basically Scooby-Doo at this point. But it was so cool to see that. Buy something that is not only made by Robin, but something that helps a good cause. And I always love that when something is for a good cause. I'm one of those people. I always see the good and hope in people, and I love seeing that. And as for the one group of people I talked about, I don't see no hope in them. I don't see any hope whatsoever. But like I said, karma's a bitch, and it's gonna come back to haunt them, and that's how life is. It's but the Gentle Giant dog food thing is really cool. I like the bag because it shows not only a photo of him as Robin, but it shows a photo of him and his wife with their dogs that they have, because he has property in acres and he has dogs. And it also shows like the dog that was adopted, the dogs that were trained that helps disabled people. I saw that. I was just like, this is so cool. Like, he not only played a hero on TV, but he played a hero, and he's a hero in real life, helping the ones that don't have a voice, the ones that are on four legs that bark. And I think that is so cool that Burt Ward is doing that. And I think, it just shows that he, is a hero in real life. And it was so cool that even in his cameo in like Crisis on Infinite Earths, which I saw on YouTube, I didn't watch the whole show, it was so cool to see him, show up walking a dog and he does like his famous, holy something. My favorite one was like, holy flying paper. That was my favorite. But that is so cool that, Burt Ward's doing something, It just shows that he's still a hero, And it's so cool that he got his star on the Walk of Fame right next to Adam West. So, anyway, did any other book? No, the books that were like luckily saved are good. Swamp Thing, Kingdom Come were good. If Batman Damned was like ruined, I would have been pissed. I would have like went down to his house and knocked the fuck out of him. But luckily it wasn't. The ones that the comics themselves, like the trade paperbacks, were great, except Swamp Thing again. White Knight luckily is not damaged. Jimmy's Bastards, which is I bought the book. I totally forgot I bought it and loaned it to him. Jimmy's Bastards, for those who never read it or heard of it, it's a mixture of like James Bond and Archer with like a raunchy story and humor. Which is a funny, like, just think of it this way. It's a very rated R, raunchy James Bond and Archer book where this guy is an American spy who just has a very filthy filter humor and it's one of those books, like, I was embarrassed I bought it and I liked it and I bought like more. But yeah, like, luckily, they were, not damaged or anything. But I was kind of embarrassed. I was like, I can't believe I had that book, and I couldn't believe it. But yeah, it was a fun book. Like, I was so happy, like, they weren't damaged. Like, again, like, those are hard books to find because those are books you have to, like, buy on Amazon because they don't have them in a comic book store because, again, like I said, they're very raunchy and filthy and humor is just not kid-friendly. So, yeah, those are the two books I was glad that didn't get damaged, and stuff. And so, yeah, like, I even had, like, he even gave me, like, the book I bought him for Christmas, which was Dark Knight Returns: The Last Crusade. And he didn't want it. Like, he just gave it back to me. Like, I don't know why. Because it was a gift. And yeah, just like, he just didn't want the book, so... Oh well, I got 2 copies. So, anyway, yeah, so, right now the books are, like, on the floor by my one book stand, so I have to, like, because, like, I have 2 book stands, and I don't know where to put them. I'll take it back, like, one is a book stand, one is, like, a book stand with, like, collectible toys and cars and, a Batman popcorn bucket that's no longer in use that I got at Six Flags. And yeah, so basically, like, it's kind of crazy. Anyway, we won't. Alright, I guess it's time to wrap up the show. We'll be back. Hello, Lilo. So, anyway, it's time to wrap up the show. We won't be back until Monday. Because today's Thursday, yep. Yeah, today's Thursday. Friday and Saturday, I'm busy. Friday, I don't know what I'm doing. Well, make yourself comfortable, Lilo. So,
You are amazing. Thank you, love. Friday, I will be basically having a day off to myself to prepare myself for Saturday. Which Saturday I am going to my grandma's house to clean her house and, just, hang out with her. Even though we're supposedly still in lockdown and we can't go anywhere. So I'm just going over there to her house to clean. And Lola, what are you doing? You cannot fit in that small space. Oh. Lilo's on your Batman pillow. So anyway, I will be doing that, and Sunday, I don't know what I'm doing. Just Saturday, I'm just doing that. I'm just going to her house to clean and hang out with her and my grandpa and just do that, So anyway, I will be back till Monday. Yeah, Lola's mad because Lilo's on her Batman pillow and looking out the window. Stay safe. You stay safe too, my love. So anyway, I will be back Monday. Everybody stay safe. Wash your hands. Keep your social distance. And, just enjoy life and everything. So, I'll see you all Monday. So,